Hello everybody, welcome to Farming Simulator 17, the Lone Oak map, created by Bullet Bill. Lovely map. I grew up in this area, worked on this farm for a number of years, and I'm having some fun here sharing a series on it. Even though this by now is an old game, I still enjoy playing it, and we'll get this combine going. And we're in the middle of our wheat harvest, kind of over here in field number 45. This is the strange-shaped field, kind of bends around this group of trees. This is exactly how it is in real life, except for maybe the topography is slightly different. Where the combine is here would be on a hill, and then it would kind of slope down before going back up, heading towards a lone oak tree. But otherwise, it is very similar. Bullet Bill did an awesome job replicating what's there in real life. Oh, you know what? I hope I... Oh, for a second I panicked. I wanted to make sure I had kept my course to know that it's still gonna... Let me see, get the right field here for the combine. That's right, it's 17. It always searched for the end of the course, so it knew how to find the combine. Seems like there's one other setting. Here we go. I tried in the prior episode to cut this into lands in the hopes that the combine would turn the corner. I'm actually going to go hop into the combine. I think my tractor will be okay. Let's just see how he does. Last time when he came by up there near the lone oak tree, he decided to keep on going straight, which sort of defeated the purpose of having any separate lands. The whole purpose of having a separate section over here was to make it a little bit easier for horseplay to do its thing. Actually, I'm pleased with horseplayer at the moment. It looks like it is staying out of the crop. Maybe it only drives over the crop when the field is first being cut in the outside edges, but as soon as there is room around the field like we have now, maybe then it decides it has space to not travel on the area with crop. Looks like we have our little champion coming up alongside. Past couple episodes I showed a number of pictures of a real-life wheat harvest in this very same field. It was a very old picture, almost 20 years as of the date of this recording, like 19 years old. So it doesn't happen very often. To the best of my knowledge, they haven't had a crop of wheat in this field since. So probably after the harvest is done here, when we rip out the field and get all the bales out and everything, we'll probably just plant grass, because that's what's in there in real life. Once again, it seems like, oh, there it's moving. The harvester waits for quite a length of time, and maybe that's for the best. A lot of these mods can get tangled up with each other, so yeah, it just kind of is the way it is. Alright, fingers crossed. We're going to see just how far he looks ahead. Oh, I didn't mean to turn that on. Okay, stop. You're going to turn at this corner. Yes, yes. This will tell us just how many passes it takes. Oh, would you look at that. I bet he hasn't even picked up his header. Look at that. Alright, that's not good enough for me. I think, like I explained in a previous episode, probably the only way to prevent this would be to put him on back and forth and let him go at that. Then he would steadily move away. Interesting. You know, there might be a way to set it up using course play where instead of, I'm hiring the combine, it's the auto combine. Maybe if we set up course play and I did an outline in a particular area, maybe then it would follow the course. Well, matter of fact, I know it would follow the course. And then maybe you could hire the rest of the field and it'd be okay. I really don't know. That's maybe something I could experiment with at some other time. For now, it just kind of is what it is. Here's the old lone oak tree. Let me get a picture. Oops. Don't know if it... Oh, it didn't go through. There we go. Get rid of the... There, we got everybody in the picture. I usually take the app back off. So I'm just gonna... Otherwise, it interferes with trying to take the auger out and everything else. So I think it's the same key. Now I kind of regret making this land as a means I have to babysit this silly combine. But don't know that I have much choice. I might have a little time here. Maybe I could hop to another tractor. I know we're gonna need to windrow this, so the question is where did I put our windrow? I think I put it in the shed here, so let's just hop in there and go find it. Oop. Don't hit my pylons. There we go. We do have the equipment to make some hay, so maybe we'll make some of that later. I'll just have to play that by ear. On the farm, usually the haying that we did was a spring activity, something we did before the main harvest, and so we'll kind of be doing it totally backwards in game here, but who cares, right? I mean, all the equipment I'm using here, most of it isn't reflective of real life either, so I guess what we can do is what we please. Let me get him unfolded and all ready to go. I'm going to set up a course so we can come through and run the baler bin. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We start out here. And sometimes, it's curious with course play to see, I don't know how its algorithm works. It's pretty good even on oblong fields like this. It really improved even in 17 beyond what it was before. To where it can figure out a way to get it all done and get the whole field covered, which is pretty remarkable. So headland, I don't remember how many. Let's give it 3 perhaps. And let's just go for it here. And we'll see kind of what it comes up with. Yeah, I can't say I'm wild about short little runs like this, but for the most of the field, I think that'll take care of what we need. So let's just save it at 45 windrow. Yeah, I think that'll work. Unfortunately, let me get out of his way. I need to park it there, kind of in the road. We'll let that sit, because I think once the combining is done, we'll do the field kind of as a whole. Speaking of combine, I better hop up there before he decides to come across the way. Again. I don't know what it is about wheat, but I don't know, to me and maybe it's because it's rare, or, I didn't see much of it growing up. It didn't happen very often, so it always seems special whenever they had it on the farm. But there's just something so satisfying about it, you know, where maybe it's because you're cutting the whole crop in the harvest and, you know, versus taking it in the windrow, so it's taking it all in one fell swoop. It's very picturesque. It's patriotic because it's part of our songs or whatever, you know, the amber waves of grain. I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of sentimental. I've always enjoyed the wheat in particular. I enjoy the grass too, but there's something special about wheat. Maybe you all have your own particular crop you enjoy too. Now, maybe while it's doing that, if I could head back here. Yeah, I'll just hop out here and zip through the building. Oh, there's our kitty cat. Meow. Um, Let me head behind here. Each time, you know, we have a session in here, I try to show some pictures and whatnot. Well, right here, obviously, we don't really see anything at all. I mean, it's just kind of open. Actually, I think I've modded this area. So one of the guys I was playing with on the server wanted to put, oh, some kind of a factory type unit here. So to indulge him, I kind of flattened it off a little bit, removed the grass and so forth. This bullet bill had it look much better. And so I think I took all the trash and whatnot, you know, that's kind of common on a lot of farms, and I just jumbled it all up kind of over here in a pile. In real life, I know I've pointed this out before, I did in some of the pictures, there was a whole separate building here that back in the day was for hog finishing. In more recent times, whoops, oh, we got it. Oh, okay, good. I'm hoping they figured that out. Yeah, I think they're trying to figure out how to interact up there. In more recent times, it's been kind of a storage place. It's a place for cattle. And so let me hop out to some pictures real quick, just so you can kind of see the area. What would be there would be this particular shed. Now behind me is the grass seed cleaner. The lone oak tree is clear up the hill over to the right. Behind us here is also a shed where they have more bulk storage, can put their combines in over the winter and other machinery. This flatbed here, I mean, you can see from the moss growing on it, I don't know when the last time was that it has actually moved. It's interesting to me that the tires have kept their pressure, I think, for who knows how long. But it's been sitting here for quite a long time. I think it's still there. But this is kind of the building. They added this area over the top. Don't know how recently this was. This is the old shed that I remember, and down over the other side was also another addition. And I suppose, you know, I wonder how common this is on farms, whether you're here in America or in Europe or the UK. I don't care who they are. There's one thing I admire about farmers. You know, they have their shortcomings in some ways, but one area where they really shine is their ability to just handle pretty much anything. And whether it's building something on their farm, they're not afraid to pick up a hammer and give it a try themselves and make it work. They seem to have this knack to know what to do and to do it themselves. So, like I say, this building here used to warehouse a bunch of hogs. I think it had basically three sections in it. They were all in there, loose, varying sizes. There used to be a grain bin outside here that they would mix feed. They had a food mixer that they would fill the bin, and then there was an auger coming off the bin that would carry it into some feeders in here. And all of that's been removed except for, I kind of think the auger is still in there for some reason. This is kind of a view to the north, looking from this old shed. And, you know, Bullet Bill was accurate when he put basically an old boneyard in here. They have an old truck sitting over here. I think in one of the videos I showed in the last, or one of the pictures I showed in the last video, this truck was actually in use. I don't know that they use it any longer. They used to just haul grain in it or seed from the field. but I think it since has been retired. You'll notice a couple logs sitting in here, and that's because there's a little sawmill unit in here where they can produce their own lumber. So a lot of this, I mean, is just old, this is old livestock equipment with the gate. There's an old hopper here. This is probably the old feed hopper that used to be in there, that out of which would come the feed for the hogs. So they probably just moved it outdoors to get space. Old pallets for stacking seed on, and like I say, the logs here. And we'll see. Here's the north end of the building. That's what the purpose of this overhang was. They have a little portable sawmill unit that they have. And we'll get into this some more later. Not so much on the portable sawmill. They kind of got this after or near the end of the time that I was working up there. But if you have access to your own timber and have the ability to cut it, there's no reason or less reason to go have to purchase it. So now I don't know what they did for kiln drying of their lumber. They may have just left a rough cut, but I do know that they cut some of their own lumber, and it's in some of these buildings around here. I don't know if any of it's in here. It might be. I think some was used down in their canyon. Just a handy little unit to use, take care of some small logs, and cut their own stuff. Now, I'm going to go check my combine just to be certain it is behaving itself, and it is not. Actually, it's this fella here that's kind of getting in the way. Yeah. And again, I know maybe sometimes it seems like I'm ragging on horseplay. There are times I've seen it just behave brilliantly on this very map. Let me just call up the particular field. This field over here, 26. There was one time I was harvesting it with this same combine, taking a very narrow path. I don't know if I was doing corn. It was a narrow little header. And I had, at that time, my home farm with the guys I was playing with was over here. Actually, that's my icon right there. And so I had a courseplay running from this field to take it from the combine, running up this road and coming in over here, dumping it out in my storage that I had there, and then kind of coming through this field and back out and around. And it went for, I think it was several hours, courseplay all by itself, dutifully unloading the combine after I had the initial rounds done. But it just handled it just like a champ. And then there's other times, we'll come back to something like we just did, and there it is, blocking the combine. So go figure. It's just interesting working with mods and figuring out how to get them to do what you need them to do. And this here, like I say, I'm not going to do these lands again like this. The next time we have something here, well, next time will probably be grass seed, so it'll all be cut using horseplay. But yeah, so he's just going to head across and go see what he can find. What I'm hoping is when we cut the other land, that he doesn't come wandering the field way over here looking for something to cut. Hopefully it's smart enough to know to turn the corner. And maybe it will be. It's smart enough to know to turn the corner down here. So I wonder if it somehow looks ahead and can see unharvested crop. And the question is just how far ahead does it look? There's got to be a limit somewhere. Maybe we'll figure that out one of these times. But so far, it keeps looking across the way, even though we have, there's over 10 passes here. Oh, excuse me. No, there isn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 passes. Oh, close enough. Right now, he's waiting for silly course. Well, who knows what he's waiting for? We're going to help him out again. Yeah, this this idea of trying lands. Well, at least now we know. We always give something a try, and that doesn't mean we have to do it the same way next time. Actually, you know what? I'll just stay in the combine. That'll help keep an eye on it. And we'll return to our pictures which hopefully don't. Okay, there it is. So in this shed, and again, this one didn't make it to the map. Bullet Bill chose to leave it out. Probably just wasn't effective room for it. With everything else that was going on, it probably just would be just too much and wouldn't be needed. Although this would have been a place, to put the sawmill, but he put it in another place. It's just fine also. Oh, there's a duplicate picture. This is from the building looking back. In the map, this would be where all those grain system is. This is the other building over here. This is the shop. There's actually one of the little grain bins that they have. I say one of, that's like the only. There'll be a close-up of that later, which justifies why they had the other system in there that they had, that Bullet Bill put in. Another shot of those sheds up there. This particular place is used to hold equipment, holds bulk seed, and then it holds finished seed as they harvest and get it cleaned. All right, back in this building, another picture of the sawmill that they have there. Just a simple little thing. Years ago, like I say, when they wanted to haul hogs, I mean, they would be backing up here. I can't remember if they must have had a loading dock system of some kind here that they long since have tore down. Just kind of another angle looking down over the hill. This section here is, and the pond is down on the other side of these trees. This section here was an add-on. I remember helping with it when I worked on the farm. And it holds one special memory to me. I just remember my grandfather at the time commenting that this was the last building that he would ever build in his life. And I remember at the time, I mean, he was sitting up here in the rafters, even helping hold the lumber and pounding nails himself. And it just seemed he was so alive, even though he was in his 70s, I believe, at the time. And I don't know. I guess it was one moment where one particular young teenager had to face reality. That's exactly how it was. This was Grandpa's last building that he ever worked on. Well, not exactly a full building, but a modification or a addition to. So I always kind of remember that when I look at this side of the building that, he shared that as we were working on it. Not in a morbid sort of way either. I mean, you're just kind of matter of fact, and that's just kind of how we saw it, and that's exactly how it was. You'll notice there's a gap in the roof up here, and I think that's just to let out hot air, probably in the summer. Might have been from, well, this is kind of the addition. I'm not sure if it's that way inside as well as out. A lot of times, the hog barns, that's some of what they would do for ventilation, to have a place for the heat and the odor to get out. Another angle here looking into it, and I don't know if the lighting was particularly good in there. I'm not even sure power gets down here. This is a uh, gas-powered setup here, so it doesn't need power. Same. There may not even be lights in there. I don't recall at the moment. This is kind of looking down over the side, the new addition. Now there's cattle that come in there. You can kind of see the fencing and paneling over here. I think they have a few head of cows up here that they keep, and they feed them down in here so they can store some hay in here now. Looking to the north, more of the boneyard, if you will, and some pretty old stuff in there. Now, I don't think Grandpa used it on the farm. There's going to be another episode at some point, but I'm pretty sure this is an old grain binder. Not worth anything now at the moment. This must be an old tractor chassis. I'm not sure what that is. Here's an old grass cutter, part of Grandpa's stash. I mean, it's sitting out of doors, so probably it doesn't work very well. And this is scrap from the lumber cut off over there at the small sawmill. This is a view inside, and you know what? I better go check my beloved. Wow, look at that. Look at that. You know what? All right, I'm going to take you down here. We'll return to this. And we'll just take care of this small little spot. Let's get it hired. Take care of the triangle. I think in real life the same thing happens. Always the pinch points in the field where you start to see I know when we went to college and I went through an ag economics program, and there was a term they had for it. When we made these enterprise budgets, one of which was presented in a previous episode, or actually a couple of them, showing kind of the economic returns for ryegrass and fine fescue, even wheat. When I went to university at Oregon State, I helped work on a couple of those, and the term that they had for this kind of a thing was field efficiency. The more square the field was, the higher the efficiency. The more strangely shaped a field was, well, obviously then the lower efficiency, because you get all the horsing around where the machine isn't cutting or isn't doing what it's supposed to do um, as frequently. So, but as for the machine just sitting on its hind end here, well, this has to do with horseplay and auto combine mods. Oh, which again, I don't mean to complain. They're vital to what I'm doing in here. So, oh, come. There we go. I wonder if I could find the area of code where it does that, where it just waits what seems for a long period of time, waiting on horseplay to move out of the way or whatever it is. I don't know what it's waiting for, so maybe there's something that could be adjusted in the code. Who knows? Most of the time it's just something, it's just a quirk of the mod, and so you put up with it. Anybody watching this that is also watching my Farm Sim 15 series will know why I laugh seeing Courseplay going over and trying to hug those trees over there. I've kind of said I think it's improved a little bit in the 17 version, and I still stand by that. But appears to me the tractor still enjoys heading to the edges of the field where it shouldn't be before turning around. So let's go bail him out. We can help him out. He's supposed to be heading the exact opposite direction because he's full and needs to unload. Let's get him headed in the right way. We're actually whittling through this field quick enough. It's been a couple episodes here of it. Let's return briefly to the pictures, which I know have already turned off on me. So let's see. I think we were maybe here. Yeah, that's a forklift they use in the seed cleaner, and this must be where they store it over the winter. This is now inside the building, so you can see the concrete floor. If you can imagine years ago, this whole area down over here was just wide open. So when the piggies went to the bathroom, that was all scooped over the edge. Never did really build up, or if it did, they hauled it out. No hogs anymore. Here's bales that they're storing in there. There's a tractor in here, just various, yeah, lots of junk in some ways. Now, this picture here, study it carefully. No, I'm just kidding. This is kind of back in here. You can see the hay. There's a scoop on the tractor that they have, just a storage place. They used to store, and maybe some of it still is in here, a lot of their, yeah, it's a hay bunker for the cattle. Probably need to head back in game to help the combine. They used to store, oh, no, you don't. Look at this, you turncoat combine. Okay. Yep, this is why we headed back over here. It's going to look like a drunk harvested this particular field, but we're going to take care of this over here. There you go. So now it doesn't have that long of a distance to go to over here. Let's see if I can get back to my picture. Yeah, here's the hay bunker. I was starting to say they used to store a lot of their old equipment in here. This is stuff Grandpa collected over the years, and I do intend to have an episode at some point that showed what we did up here annually for quite a number of years. We'd have a threshing bee, and usually it was oats where we would harvest it using all this old equipment that they don't use anymore, and Grandpa just had a fondness for it. I think he used it somewhat when he was young, and it's still popular in the area where they use that kind of machinery, but we're running out of old people that remember it firsthand. Now, why I chose to take a picture of the ceiling, I have no idea. Enjoy the ceiling. Here's another picture, a better one actually, of the little sawmill kind of on the north end of the building. And yeah, there's been a lot of lumber they've made over time. Another angle to the building out front uh, by the flatbed that's been sitting there a while. Looks like that might be, is that a big rototiller sitting there? Or maybe a mower? I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe somebody watching this will know. Um, an old windrower that they had, minus the header. I don't know why they took it off. Just some old equipment sitting in the yard. All right, let me head back in game real quick. That last one, maybe it was a bit quick. It's just a simple little, a simple grain bin. They still actually have it. I was up there not that long ago, and they still have it. I think one of my uncles have told me that its days are numbered. They don't use it anymore. It doesn't hold hardly anything. They don't have a need for it with their animals that they have now. So it really is just taking up space. So at some point they're probably going to take it out. But that was a picture of kind of what they had. Well, I'm going to let this guy unload here, and actually I'll get it off a higher mode. I've tipped over a half hour and want to say thank you to all of you for watching, for stopping by to share some of your time and visit Lone Oak. Um, have a wonderful day, whatever you're doing, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.